Well, hello everyone. It's Paul Miller, the Free Time Free Spill podcast, and it's going to be a good show today. I got a board certified health coach, nutritional lifestyle coach, and personal trainer. How you doing, Miss Lajune?
I am good. Thank you for having me, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I had a podcast earlier, and it went great. Like, I'm excited to talk to you today.
Glad you keeping busy and keeping them podcasts rolling.
Yeah, like 40 episodes this month alone. Like with guests, like 40 guests.
Wow, congratulations. Yeah,
Super busy.
that's good. Keeping busy, especially during this pandemic. That's something great because you're finding an outlet during this time. So that's good.
Yeah. So can you like give us a rundown like of like what you do? Like
So I am a board certified health and wellness coach. I'm a nutritional lifestyle coach, personal trainer. I also have a podcast as well. And I also do acting as well.
wow, super.
And yeah, so I'm originally from Louisiana, went to college in Dallas. I moved to the DMV area in 2003. I've been here ever since. I lived in DC, I lived in Maryland, I lived in Virginia. Now I'm back in Maryland. So I definitely love and have a passion for health and wellness. Since a kid, I love sports. So that's something that I've always enjoyed doing.
I check out your website. Like, are you into boxing?
So I am into boxing because boxing works your overall body. And it also is a good way of burning stress. I had someone on my podcast who learned that boxing was an outlet for helping him with his depression and the things that was going on with him. So it definitely helps. Like when I'm stressed out, I have like a punching bag. So I go and I'm punching on it. So that is my outlet.
Wow. I remember I seen like a picture of you like working out, like you was doing push-ups. Like you don't do the easy push-ups. Like
No, I planks are important because it helps you work on your core to keep your core strong. Push-ups are definitely good. So definitely, anything that is a way of burning off stress is definitely something I enjoy doing.
and this one is so important, like healthy eating behaviors. Cause how many clients come to you about healthy eating behaviors?
So I get clients that come and the first thing they say is, I want to lose weight, I want to work out. And it's not that simple because it's not about working out. The question is, how did you get to the point that you're at now? What was going on from your past that you're still holding on to that is in your life right now? So I always talk to them to see what's going on in their lives. I had a client one time, she said her son had died 8 years ago, and she's like, she want to lose weight. Okay, well, you're still holding on to the grief of your son. So let's work on that because it's not going to be any form of progress if we just jump into fitness and we haven't changed your behavior mindset where your outlet is going to food. So that's one thing is most important to me. It's making sure I'm giving my clients that I work with what's needed and not just jumping into the whole fitness aspect of it, because that's not my goal. Is not just taking clients money. My goal is to see a lifestyle change for the long call.
Okay. Like three tips like with like you don't have to give away all the good details and stuff, but like three tips about like how we can change our eating patterns or like healthy lifestyle.
So the first step is dealing with whatever is going on that's holding you back. It could be childhood trauma, it could be an abusive relationship, it could be a knee injury, it could be whatever's grief, whatever is going on in your life. Dealing with those things first. The second step is really coming to terms, forgiving yourself, forgiving whoever hurt you and moving forward, or whoever hurt, your cousin, your son, or whomever, forgiving them and moving on. Those are important. Looking at the reason why you're eating the way you're eating, because sometimes we'll eat out of emotional habits of what's going on. We had a stressful day at work. The first thing we go to is what? Either alcohol or food. So stopping those patterns, and people don't really realize how many calories that are in alcohol. Wine alone has so much calories and so much sugar. Beer, it's yeast, so much calories in it.
Yeah, sometimes I might eat something like that I shouldn't eat, like if it's a sweet, and just because I see it.
And that's another thing. And I think a lot of people get caught up with, oh, if I'm going on a diet or if I decide to eat healthy, I never have to eat, I can't eat this stuff anymore. And that deters a lot of people. It doesn't mean that. It just means you're not supposed to, you don't need to be eating it every day. You shouldn't be eating at Popeyes every day. You shouldn't be eating pizza every day. It's in moderation. It's okay if you have it 2 or 3 times within a month, but it's not something that should be a lifestyle of you consuming every day, that you're in the drive-thru at McDonald's every single day. It's okay if you go there once a month or twice a month, but just making smarter choices on what you're getting.
It's a discipline and mindfulness, like conscious eating.
Exactly. Yes.
Conscious eating.
Yes.
So like some people self-destruct, like even in their behaviors, uh like physically, like how they self-destruct, and like how can some of that experiences like affect you? Like how did you see that, like growing up, like some of the negative mindsets?
So the negative mindsets for me was saying, I grew up, my family members, most of them are obese. They have heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol, things like that. I knew I didn't want that for me. I knew I wanted something better and healthier for me. Like I said, I was always very athletic and playing sports and stuff like that. I didn't want that for me. I didn't want at 15, 20, hearing that I have diabetes or high blood pressure. And it runs in my family. So luckily, I don't have those health issues. The self-destruction is, again, not really coming to terms with what's going on. In our community, we brush a lot of stuff under the rug. We don't come to terms with it. It's subconsciously in our minds, but we really don't deal with those things. And those things continue to come up for us in adulthood. And we're wondering why we're about to go to sleep. And we're wondering why we're so upset about something that happened in the past, because we haven't dealt with it. So that's more, the most important thing is dealing with our past so we can live right now in this present moment in time, because what we do, past, future. We forget about the present. And first thing we say is, oh yeah, in the future, I'm gonna do this, or tomorrow I'm gonna do this. Why can't you do it today?
Seize the moment.
Yes,
Seize the
definitely,
moment.
definitely.
So you train like a lot of people in personal training?
I do. I have a mother and daughter that I work with in person. I have a new client that's coming on next week. She's actually doing all 3 of my services, health coaching, nutrition, and fitness. Um, I think that was big of her to make that commitment to do that, because that's a lot. Um, I've worked with a previous client. She and I still keep in contact. If you go to my page, you can see her. She looks great. I don't know if you saw her. She looks great from when we started. And that was all from mindset. That wasn't even me implementing fitness, just mindset changes. And that's how mindset works. If you put your mind into changing your nutrition and changing what's going on, you can lose weight. And personally, I did that for myself. I did a food sensitivity test. I cut out everything that was on it. I lost 12 pounds from it. And I wasn't even working out at that time. So it's all about mindset, what you decide to do and stick to it.
And your target audience is it like mostly women?
So my target audience is women and girls, and the reason why I work with kids before, both boys and girls, but not saying boys don't suffer from self-esteem issue. I think girls deal with it a lot more because we deal with developing breasts. We deal with unwanted attention from men, women, whomever. We deal with people saying you're too fast and you're not really even doing anything to be fast because you didn't ask to develop breasts at 8 years old. So I work with girls to help them build self-esteem because most girls don't really have that self-esteem and they try to find it within someone else to offer it to them. Because we know in our community, mom is working 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure she's taking care of the household bills and making sure you got clothes on your back and food on the table. So I think that's important because mom doesn't always have the opportunity to give girls what they need in the homes. So that was my choice of why. My dad died when I was 6, and he instilled the importance of what a princess looked like, and he treated me like a princess. Most girls don't have fathers that offer them what a princess looks like. And I just think that's important to offer that to young girls, that you are important, you are beautiful, and you should know that you're beautiful without someone telling you that. So I think that's important.
That's amazing. Y'all also deal with like expectations and like y'all got to do the duties of like the mother, like watch the sister, the younger sister, or
Right,
clean up, do the dishes.
right. And girls take on a lot. They're taking care of their little brothers. They're taking care of the household while mom's working or whatever. And that's a big responsibility. And some kids feel like, why me? But at the end of the day, hey, that's the role that your mom put you in. It was a leadership role for you, but at the same time, you are important. So never feel that you're not important. So I think that's definitely a necessity to offer young girls.
Yeah, self-care is important.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something women don't do. I don't know how, your household was when it came to your mom and your grandmother and your aunts. We take on so much because we're trying to take care of everybody and we're trying to make sure everybody is good, but we neglect ourselves. And sometimes kids see that where they're like, dang, mom, you've been working all day, you've been on your feet. And she's still on her feet. She ironing your clothes, getting you ready for school or whatever the case may be. And now the situation has changed where kids are now being homeschooled. Now they're juggling working from home and teaching kids at the same time, making sure you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same time, and maybe working over just because she wasn't able to finish the day. So I think self-care is important. Knowing that your self-worth, putting you first. And the same thing for men. I think men need to put themselves first, needs to get in tune with their emotions and their feelings. I've worked in the mental health industry as well. And I've had, some male clients who push their feelings aside and they would turn to alcohol and drugs or self-destructive behaviors. So at the end of the day, it's okay to be in tune with their emotions, because I think so many times we tell men, don't cry because you weak. Don't do this because it's a sign of weakness. No, we all have feelings. We all have emotions. So it's okay to show them.
Yeah, a lot of men don't tap into their emotions. Like,
No, they don't. So I actually had one of my guy friends on who lost his daughter, and and he opened up about his grief, how that felt. And I thought that was important to have a man talk about how much it hurt to lose his daughter, his firstborn, to see her wither away. And I think that's important, for men to be okay with that, because it's okay to get therapy. It's okay to, be in those moments. But guess what? Don't stay in those moments. Get help that you need.
that's true. And I check out, like, when I look at your website, it's amazing stuff. Like, I definitely think I recommend like people should like check it out and maybe do some coaching calls and stuff. Like it's amazing stuff that you do.
Thank you. So I definitely want to help, individuals because we're in a pandemic and it seems like it's not getting better. So I definitely think it's important for us as individuals to get the help we need, if it's coaching, if it's therapy, if it's healthcare, whatever it is, get that service. Don't just neglect yourself.
Can we talk about like how like since the pandemic has came, like how some kids like they can't sit still and learn about themselves or like educate themselves and know thyself, because like they go outside and like they're doing, some of them are doing bad things. Like you'll see on the news, like in Lake Charles, Louisiana, like this girl, like these like young girls like at Walmart, like one stabbed one and like this girl ended up dead, and then another.
That one, but I think right now it's a lot of our time, meaning we're not able to do the things that we were able to do before. We've been stuck in a house. We've been stuck with wearing a mask. We've been, stuck with making decisions that we don't want to make, but now we're forced to make. So your mental health starts to change where you decide to make terrible decisions based off of the negativity that's flowing in. So when you're bored, you do dumb stuff. So you're sitting there bored and you're like, okay, what can I do today? And nothing comes up. You start thinking, and things start creeping in your head. You may have a friend call and say, hey, let's go do something stupid. Okay, I'm bored, why not? So I think that's the thing of right now we're in a lot of boredom and we're making dumb decisions when it comes to, and we don't really think of the outcome and the repercussions of it long term. We just move. And most of it's mental health, like, mental health.
It was another story. Like a mom had took her daughter's phone. I know, like we come from a different generation. Like they have technology and stuff. Like they took her phone and like she wanted to like take medication and try to overdose, and now she's in a psychiatric hospital. But like a young girl, and she like just because she wanted to stay connected, and that was her only outlet of like responding to her mom, maybe because her mom was controlling. Well, we got to understand and like listen to like what they got to say too. Like
And I say with that, that should have been a conversation. I don't know what the girl did to get her phone taken away. And the thing of it is right now the only outlet for any individual, either is the internet, your cell phone, social media, whatever. I think, sometimes we do need to take a break from social media because it does paint a picture of what you think your life should look like, but we really don't consider the fact that these people probably 99% is unhappy. So it's just a show, it's entertainment to entertain you by pictures. It should have been a different form of communication instead of, we're so quick to take something, or, when somebody hurts you, you want to hurt them back. It should have been a conversation. But again, I don't know what the girl did, if the girl was disrespectful or whatever, but it should have been a conversation that should have been had.
yeah. A lot of like the youth, like they need like to be educated and like have good sources of information that they can learn from, and like even like podcasting, like a good podcast episode, just listening to that, or like just good role models.
And I think that's important, but I think sometimes we get so caught up in putting our lives into entertainers, and we get disappointed when entertainers aren't the people that we thought they were, when we really don't have a role model at home to look up to. And I think that's important. I think we should stop looking at a Carly B who said, hey, I'm not a role model. I don't make my music for kids. I make my music for adults. instead of, looking at, hey, my mom is a hard worker, she busting her butt to make sure I got food on the table and clothes on my back, or looking at grandma, hey, grandma is holding it down for me, or auntie, or whomever. We should be looking at those individuals as our role model. It's okay to aspire to, okay, I want to be a rapper, I want to be a basketball player, I want to be a doctor, or whatever the situation is. But I think we get so caught up in focus and get so disappointed when somebody is not the way we expected them to be.
Yeah, that's a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge, like just from like close family members, like if it's your immediate family, like it's
Yeah,
a
it can
wealth of
even be
knowledge.
teachers. It can be, somebody in the community, because we're so quick to say, oh, well, I want to be like Kim Kardashian or Kanye West. Why? So it's like, let's be realistic of, we don't really know what goes on in these people's households when stuff hit the media of, okay, Kim, Kanye got mental health issues. Guess what? We have that in our community all the time. It's just recently more talked about. So I think that should be something that we should steer away from is, okay, it's okay if you like somebody, but let's stop worshiping these people, and that's what we do.
Pick up a book,
Yeah,
know the contents of what you're getting into, and understand, like do your research, like know who you're listening to, know what's behind that.
right. Definitely. So I think that's important is, doing research, read a book. Let's, limit our internet time and our Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. And let's, learn about our history, because it's a wealth of history that's out there, especially about African Americans, that we have no clue about, of who invented what. And it's like, oh, wow, they never talked about this before. So,
That's very important, working on ourselves, because like I get this like from astrology. Like I'm not big on astrology, but like working on ourselves, and then you get into the community, and then you go from there. Like sometimes you're gonna have to work on yourself, and then sometimes you're
right.
gonna have to go into the community and do work.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with giving back in any form. If it's doing community service, if it's, volunteering and talking to kids, working with seniors, whatever your outlet is that works for you, doing podcasts, whatever works for you, that you feel like, I'm giving back, I'm giving knowledge, I'm educating people in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, it definitely starts with me time, like just like educating, knowing who you are, like study about yourself before you master a craft. Master yourself, who you are, before you master craft.
And that's definitely important, because you need to know yourself and work on yourself and love yourself, because you can't pour into anybody else until you pour into yourself.
Yeah. So wrapping up, like some of the social links you would like to share.
So you can find me on LinkedIn at Lajune Singleton, Instagram and Facebook again at Lajune Singleton. My website is lajunesingleton.com. It's LajuneSingleton.
And let them know some of like the services that you provide.
So the services I provide is health coaching, health and wellness coaching, which works with your mental health to help you overall health wise for long term. Nutrition, I offer virtual or in person if you live in my area. We go through your cabinets, your pantry, your refrigerator. I actually do grocery shopping with you, supplement shopping with you, and personal training, either virtual or in person. Right now, I'm doing more virtual. I also offer acting coaching, which for individuals who are getting into the acting field. And also, I do um, consumer advocacy, which is, say, for instance, you go to the doctor, you have questions, and your doctor is not answering your questions. They're ignoring you, or you just don't know how to advocate for your health or for yourself. So I offer those services when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah, I need some help with grocery shopping sometimes, but like recently I got a whole bunch of fruits like grapefruits, like guava, apples, oranges, like all kind of fruits.
And that's good. One thing is, I think individuals, frozen fruits is inexpensive and it's a good choice because we know fruits nowadays does not last that long and it goes bad. I just literally bought some bananas 3 days ago and they're already turning brown. So I'm gonna have to cut them up and put them in the freezer. So you can do that too. When you have bananas and they're starting to go brown, just cut them up, put them in the freezer. You can use them for smoothies or put it in your cereal or whatever you choose to do with it. So frozen vegetables would be the better option opposed to having canned. So
You got to get the bananas when they're green.
yeah, they weren't green and they literally, I guess the temperature in the house with the heat on, so it's starting to turn slightly brown. So it's okay.
I actually want to be a life coach, like a spiritual coach.
Say do it. I mean, if that's your passion and you seem very passionate about what you do, go for it.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of men. When I worked in mental health, they would give me little boys, and I was like, nah, he don't need another female. He need a male caseworker because he already have enough females. He needs to learn from a male. So I definitely recommend, hey, it's a lot of men, young men and boys out here that needs a male role model. And I think he would definitely be a good one.
And like with those like father figures, like I know like before we go, but like with figures like spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional, like they need those different male figures in their lives, even to educate them and like just to put them in the right direction.
Right. And it also shows, gives them an example of how to be a man, how to stand as a man, what it looks like. And when they see you, they're like, oh, wow, he's a spiritual coach. He does podcasts. He does this. He does that. That definitely gives them an outlet of, I can do that too. I want to do that. I want to be like him. So I think that's definitely important for them to see a positive Black male influence in their lives. I think that matters.
I love the reflection because like all the time, like oftentimes I don't get to see like myself like unless I'm looking in the mirror, but like just that reflection like to remind me like who I am as an integrity, a person of integrity, and like that's something like with responsibility as well.
Yeah, so I would say definitely do it. I think, for me, I would suggest your target audience should be males, because you're in Louisiana, and hey, I'm from Louisiana, and I know that hey, they need positive role models. They
Oh
need
yeah.
positive men. They need to see what that looks like in the community because they're saying nothing against Lil Wayne and Birdman and none of them. But I think, they need to see somebody that don't have gold teeth, platinum teeth, and all that. They need to see somebody that's positive out in the world.
Yeah,
That's not flat.
I feel like I'm rare because like there's a lot of people like they want to be on violence and games. They want to join games and like be a group of people that's like just following each other. Like that's a game. Like they talk about gang and stuff, and maybe they rap, but like it's more influential people like Will Smith. Like
Right. You got your Will Smiths, you got your Denzels, it's so many influential people out there that also don't just do acting, they also give back to the community. They also, visit the community. And I think that's important. So definitely be that voice for males in your community, and wherever else it may take you.
integrity is everything. Like
Yeah. Integrity, your heart, and I definitely can tell you have a good heart. So I would definitely, use that because that's what matters.
yes. So I thank you for joining me on this podcast, Lajune, and I thank the listeners for tuning in. And thank you, Lajune.
Thank you for having me. It was such a blessing. It's good to connect with another Louisianan. So it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I reach out to you. I send the video recording and the audio. I thank you. It was great talking, and I thank all the listeners. And a new episode airs every Friday at 1 p.m. U.S. Central. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.